Hi, my name is Patrick Clark, and I run the website notesintheleftmargin.com, and this is a companion video to an article I wrote, Are People Becoming Resistant to Learning? And before everybody jumps down my throat about that title being clickbait, I really mean it. Are people becoming resistant to learning? Now, for a little bit of background, how I came to that question. A few days ago, I was watching one of my favorite YouTube channels, Technology Connections. And as of February 24th, 2025, one of the latest videos on their channel is a video called Algorithms Are Breaking How We Think. And the host is usually very animated, and his topics are well thought out. He mixes good information with just the right amount of humor. And he was really concerned about the fact that the algorithms that we see on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, or X are designed to keep us engaged, pretty much by any means necessary, and we are not in control of the media we absorb nowadays, and that his thought was that not only are we not in control of the media we intake, he took it a step further and went, people today don't want to make a decision. They just want to go along with the flow. If it's in the feed, rather than think about what they want to consume, they would rather just consume what is served. And I thought that was a very interesting and actually accurate assessment of the way the internet is going. Because I began to look at some of the interactions I've had with people over the last couple of years, and I volunteer in the technology sector, usually with web pages and problem solving for various computer issues that people have. And we're not talking extremely advanced computers. We're talking about the elderly individual who just doesn't get what is in front of their face. And they're very frustrated that the answers they want when they ask, they don't seem to get. Because the people they're dealing with just don't understand why someone would want to know why something works or why it is a particular way. And I found this to be true. I was working with someone else just the other day, and she's probably around 26, very bright, but we were working on something, and she was reading material, and I could tell that she was just sort of going through the motion. And I said, well, don't you want to know why that is that way? And she sort of looked shocked, as if to say, why should I? I mean, the answer's there, it works, there we go. And I was just sort of blown away, because this is just literally the day after I saw the technology connections video. And the more I think about it, the more I think he's not only on the right track, but I'm now wondering, okay, what are the younger people missing? And to me, the answer is because they grew up with the internet in its high-speed state, they always have had knowledge just thrust upon them. There's been no need to investigate. And the worst thing is, no chance to develop those skills you need to really understand and find out why something works or why something is the way it is. Now, if we project this into the future, we could be in a bit of a bind because, well, you can't have a researcher that doesn't really know how to think, how to look at an issue and break it apart into its various pieces and understand those relationships, right? It's a very scary thought. And so as I began to write the article, I thought, well, what could we do to avoid this kind of calamity? And I came up with 2 or 3 simple points. 1, if you got young kids, don't expose them to smartphones and smart devices too early. Let them go through that stage where they explore and do their own little problem solvings in their own way. Right? And if it was me, I'd say children really shouldn't have smart technology until they're about 10. Not at least unsupervised anyway. Because I think when you get it too early, you affect the developmental stages of the brain. And again, it's the old use it or lose it. Well, it could very well be that we are affecting critical events that need to happen in brain development at early stages. They need to develop how to think. They need to develop a sense of themselves and the other world. And they need to develop a sense of timing based on reality, just not click and there's the answer, click and there's the reaction. So that's kind of the point of this video and the article. And the other thing that I would suggest is that really to allow kids to investigate. And if they come up with a question that you don't know the answer to, good for them, because they've just given you a little nudge. I remember very clearly being very young, and my sister and I were sitting on the floor with our father, who was an anesthesiologist. By the way, he was one of the first people in Canada with polio, and he'd gone and become an anesthesiologist, and that would be in the 40s when he was doing this. So talk about an uphill battle. Anyway, there were my sister and I sitting on the floor as Dad was explaining magnets. Now, we didn't completely get what he was saying, But what did come across was how enthusiastic he was about explaining it, and the enthusiasm in finding a little bit of something unexpected. Right? And that's critical. To be willing to work with something, to discover something, big or small, it doesn't matter. And also learning later in life that some things take a lot of effort if you're really going to learn them. And like, for example, I'm doing an online course right now, and we've gotten into some not heavy mathematics, but it's beyond the everyday, and it's stretching my mind, and I'm really having to work at it. But I like that, right? And so the early childhood experiences really do matter. And so that's why I say technology should be kept at arm's length. And kids should be allowed to develop. And same for adults. If you've grown up with a tablet and a smartphone, put them down for a couple of weeks if you can. And see if you can work on developing your own mental abilities, your own learning abilities, because there's nothing like it in the world. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say, and that's what I wanted to kind of put in your ear. So let me know in the comments here if you agree with me. Go read the article on my blog, notesintheleftmargin.com. And we'll see you on the other side of the internet. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. My name is Patrick Clark, and once again, the blog's name is notesintheleftmargin.com. Bye-bye for now.